Metazombies in space. Hey, yo, let's go.
That helps in just kind of editing. But I'm telling an editor how to edit.
Well, I'm not an editor.
Well, but you are a person who wears many hats in this project. Name your hats.
Well, I started out as writer, creator, and then I became kind of a producer, working under an executive producer, and then I was casting talent, and then I was writing theme songs and directing, and then when I took it over, then I became executive producer, creator, jack of all trades.
Absolutely. The Trish of all trades. How fun. Now this production, it has to come from, you lost your heart to zombies at a young age, didn't you? You just have always loved them. What's it about zombies for you?
I've just always liked scary movies.
Yeah.
Like I was a latchkey kid. My mom was a executive, and I, had my own key, and I was alone, and then she'd often go out at night when I was young, and I would just sit and watch scary movies all by myself and be petrified. But I liked
petrified.
it. Yeah, I was petrified, and I was by myself watching, like super scary movies, and then. I think one of the first zombie movies I saw was like Day of the Dead, I think in the 1970s. George Romero, and there's a whole series, and I just like zombies, right?
So unfair, this is amazing. So you have had a love story with this production. Do you want to go into that at all?
Well, yeah. I don't think I ever hated it, really. I hated the circumstances at the beginning, which, I don't know how much we want to get into that, but so initially I was hired just to write a treatment by a crypto whale whose identity to this day remains a mystery, right? And this was in like the pandemic, shortly after the pandemic. And a friend of mine on Twitter knew that I was a screenwriter and said, there's this crypto whale, and he owns a bunch of crypto punks, which were the very first NFTs, non-fungible tokens.
Yes.
And he wants to create a cartoon series based on this. So when you talk to him, I'm like, oh God. Because every screenwriter will tell you that people are always approaching you saying, I've got a great idea for a movie or a show, but I can't pay you.
Oh, yes.
But if you write it, when I sell it, for $1 bajillion, then, I'll give you your cut. All the time, right, this happens. And I just figured this was another of the same thing. So I said, well, no, I don't really want to talk to him. And plus, crypto, like I've always been crypto skeptical. And he said, oh, come on, do it as a favor. So I talked to this guy, and so he had been buying up Bitcoin, back in, I guess, 2014 when it was $20 a Bitcoin. And as a result, he had millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, and also a very large collection of these CryptoPunks, which are the very first NFT made, and I think the only one worth owning personally.
Is a CryptoPunk?
It's like a
somebody
very
who looks like a punk.
Well,
there's
these there's like these digital images, and they're very, very rough and very pixelated.
Okay.
And so it was basically the first experiment of running a bunch of digits, I guess, through the blockchain and coming up with an image that is on the blockchain forever.
These images don't look anything like your characters.
No. But each one has unique characteristics, and they're worth, at the time they were like $1 million a piece, and I don't know what they're worth now, but I think they're probably, if you went on OpenSea or the NFT trading thing, that they're probably one of the only ones that's retaining some sort of value.
Wow.
Christie's has even sold them. Like, and so one of the ones he had is a zombie, which is one of the most rare. And he owned a zombie. So he had gotten these for free.
Oh my.
Because when they were first issuing them, anyone who had a crypto wallet could get a bunch of them for free. And so he was like a coder guy. And so he had a huge collection of CryptoPunks. And he also had a lot of, I don't know if you've ever heard of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the apes that were also a very collectible at the time. Everyone was buying and selling these. So he had a few of those, two of the most kind of blue chip NFTs. And he wanted to do a cartoon series that was based on these, the characters were based on his NFTs. And so I'm like, and he wanted to produce it, and he wanted to do it using Bitcoin, and then he wanted to make NFTs of the characters that were created, and then sell those, and then use those to fund more episodes. So I'm kind of like, I'm not interested. But I will refer you to this organization that I've done some mentoring of young screenwriters called Stage 32. So I said, I'll refer you there, and maybe there's a young screenwriter who might want to do it. And so that happened, and then he said, well, when I get some proposals, will you look them over? Yeah, okay. Johnny is what he called himself. Sure, Johnny. So he sends me the proposals, and they were all just shite. Like, they were all really bad. They weren't written on Final Draft, which is like the industry standard software for writing scripts, and they were just really bad. And I told him that. I said, I'm sorry, but I'm the one who referred you to these young screenwriters. But I wouldn't choose any of them, right?